We've been called
Yep.
about somebody matching your description.
Absolutely, yeah, I give him the name. I'm stood there when he called. I think it's this one that called you, wasn't it?
So what's the crack? What's going on?
Just doing a bit of video today.
Sorry?
Just doing a bit of videoing today.
Okay, what's the purpose of the video?
My purpose, really.
No. What's the purpose of the video?
Sorry, no. My purpose, really. Thank you.
What is the purpose of the video?
Do I have to answer that question?
Well, yeah, because it may be that you're breaking the law by if you
doing what? What law do you think I've broken?
Well, we'll start with GDPR rules.
Okay, that's nothing to do with the police, is it?
Is it not?
No. And it isn't anyway, because I'm public. I'm in public. I can film anything I can see in public, can't I?
Yeah, you can film in public.
Yeah.
But if you're overflying private premises and videoing stuff that's on there, then that becomes a little bit of an issue.
No, incorrect, officer. I'm sorry, you're incorrect.
The worker doesn't pause to think. Instead, they go straight for the nuclear option, calling the police. They report that the auditor is a strange chap recording businesses. But here's the thing. There is nothing unusual, suspicious, or unlawful about what the auditor is doing. He's made his purpose crystal clear. He's in plain sight, and he's not trying to hide a thing. The worker also throws in that the auditor is being nosy. Well, newsflash, curiosity is not a crime. Public photography is. Perfectly legal, and simply taking an interest in a building, a business, or a street corner does not justify police intervention. This is yet another textbook example of uninformed individuals wasting police resources over a perfectly lawful activity, simply because they don't like it. And instead of handling the situation with a cool head, the worker immediately escalates it, revealing a complete lack of understanding about public rights. The call is made, the police respond, and what happens next is a shocking display of authority run amok. Officers arriving not to uphold the law, but to enforce feelings, attempting to twist the situation into a wrongful charge against the auditor.
So every aeroplane, hot air balloon, glider goes over, they're not allowed to video, is that what you're saying?
Well, aeroplanes won't be able to pick up as much detail as a drone over the flight in some specific premises.
Small aeroplanes.
What is the purpose behind? What interest do you have in filming?
It's mine. I like industrial estates, so I'll go to industrial estates making videos of companies I find interesting. Are you recording? It's flashing. There's a green light flashing.
Yes, it is.
Is that recording?
Flashing red, then I'll be recording.
Right, okay.
The green is not recording, so
Right,
what law
because
have I broken?
we don't know, you see, so we don't know that. So, but if you are not recording, that's fine. But you would have, one of your procedures you would have broke if you hadn't told me that.
Why is that?
Because you have to inform me. As well, you mentioned GDPR.
I can film anything I want in public. You've just come back.
No, not you. No, you're filming it as a company. You're an officer working for the law. You have to, by GDPR rules, you have to tell me. Like the sign on the gate there saying they're filming people.
The consequences? A £35,000 compensation payout. A figure that speaks volumes, not just about the damage done to Curnow, but about the scale of misconduct involved. Courts don't award that kind of money unless rights have been severely violated, and this case proved exactly that. Point one officer was outright fired. Another suspended for 2 months pending investigation. A third remains under internal review. From the start, they showed a dangerous mix of arrogance and ignorance, approaching with suspicion based purely on a vague phone call, and demanding ID without lawful grounds. When Curnow stood firm, they escalated. Not because the law supported them, but because they couldn't stand being told no. One officer even declared, "I'm not a servant," while another suggested things would have gone smoother if Curnow had just complied. That's not policing. That's coercion. Their misuse of powers, unlawful detention, and desperate attempts to justify it by chasing the original caller exposed. Their lack of procedure. When twisting the law failed, they turned to disrespect, suggesting Curnow was wasting time. In the end, it was their actions that wasted time, cost the force reputational damage, and came with a heavy legal and professional price. This case is a warning shot to any officer who thinks they can bluff their way through the law, and a reminder to the public: know your rights, stay calm. Document everything that Curnow's firm's stance, legal knowledge, and refusal to be intimidated brought real consequences for those who abuse their power. It's a perfect example of why public accountability matters and why knowing the law is your greatest shield against unlawful policing. If you enjoyed this coverage, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to check out Curnow Audit. His channel is linked in the description. This was Rate the Audit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
GDPR works that way. Do you not understand that GDPR works that way?
Okay. So, what are we going to do about you filming? Because it's clearly causing annoyance to people.
That's not my problem. I'm in a public area filming. I'm not annoying anybody. They're annoying me, to be honest. They're actually annoying me.
Called the police.
And they're annoying me. They come out and annoy me. He did. They annoyed me. I don't report them because I thought, well, just go back to work and leave me to it. So if you think I'm breaking any laws, then please quote the laws I'm breaking. Because I'm not breaking any law here.
During the exchange, the officer makes an absurd claim, insisting the auditor has broken the law under GDPR. Without missing a beat, the auditor shuts him down, pointing out that GDPR has absolutely nothing to do with law enforcement. The General Data Protection Regulation exists to govern how businesses and organizations handle personal data. IT does not apply to private individuals filming in public spaces. This is a basic legal distinction, yet, somehow, many officers still fail to grasp it. Instead, they misuse GDPR as a catch-all excuse to challenge lawful public photography. Here, rather than focusing on any actual law, the officer is grasping at straws, throwing out legal terms he clearly doesn't understand, all in an effort to justify an unnecessary and unlawful intervention.
You seem a bit annoyed and that you can't get me on anything. That's wrong, isn't it, surely?
It's not the fact that I can't get you on anything, it's just that if you are causing somebody enough annoyance and they're worried about people's private details being published on the internet and what have you, because there are certain things that are visible from or to your drone camera.
Yeah.
And they are rightly concerned that those will be published on the internet.
Absolutely, can be concerned. Put them inside. Because anybody, I can go on that public path and fly my drone. I could have done it secretly. I let them know what I'm doing.
Okay, but from their point of view,
yeah,
can you see why it would cause an annoyance if you are entirely in the right and you are exercising your right as a person to do something that they don't want you to do?
Yeah, that's right.
You refuse to stop when you've been asked, even though it's their premises that are affected by your actions.
Well, they said there, we're highly secret, blah, blah, blah. They're a fragrance company. I'm like, highly secret fragrances? Really? You know, people really build themselves up to be bigger than they are, just to try to stop people exercising their God-given right, legal rights in this country, legal rights in this country, to video anything I can see from a public place.
Rather than acknowledging the point, the officer tries to be clever, parroting the auditor's own words back at him. I can film anything I want in public. But his attempt to outsmart the auditor completely backfires. The auditor schools him instantly, pointing out that as a police officer, he is bound by GDPR regulations, which require officers to inform individuals when recording with body-worn cameras. This moment perfectly exposes the hypocrisy many officers operate under, quick to challenge public photography when it suits them, yet all too willing to ignore their own legal obligations when it comes to accountability.
I can video anything I can see from public place.
Does it not then become an issue because you can't see it from a public place because your drone is going into a private place to take these images?
It's flying over in the airspace which is controlled by the Civil Aviation Authority, and I obey all the laws for flying my drone. Civil Aviation Authority, there's no restrictions for flying in this area, on this estate, wherever, so I can fly my drone free will all over this place. I feel you're annoyed. I don't understand it. You're not the feelings police. You've got to remember this. You're not the feelings police. You're here to feel.
I'm not the feelings police. I just find it incomprehensible that, you know...
But you're like him. It's not up to you to understand what I'm here to do. It's not up to you to understand that, is it? If I'm here and not breaking any law, then basically you need to just walk away and let them know he's not breaking any law. Leave him to it.
This is a prime example of bad policing, where, instead of enforcing the law, officers try to mediate emotions even when no crime has been committed. The auditor is lawfully filming in public, and whether someone finds it annoying or uncomfortable is completely irrelevant from a legal standpoint. Police officers are not feelings enforcers, yet time and time again, they insert themselves into situations where no law is being broken, simply because someone doesn't like what's happening. This officer's response makes it clear he has no legitimate grounds to intervene. So he falls back on policing feelings, hoping to pressure the auditor into leaving, but discomfort does not override legal rights, and any officer should know better than to act as if it does.
If a delivery is out in the yard waiting to be picked up and people's, you know, their clients' details, addresses and what have you are on display.
Tell me this, officer. Do they have the right to tell me to stop videoing?
I think they've probably got the right to stop you from overflying their premises.
No, you're wrong.
Well,
you're wrong.
no,
You're incorrect.
I think they probably do.
I think you're incorrect.
If you look at the contracts when you buy a house, the property you own, and you also own the airspace above it.
Maybe
It
you
doesn't
do.
stop at the roof of the house.
Maybe you do. That's all a bit grey, but
So if you're overflying their property, then that does become a point where.
right. Can you hear in the sky?
Sorry?
Can you hear him in the sky? There's an airplane flying over.
Yes, there is.
So has he asked him if he can fly over his property? He's gone over his property.
Many companies behave as if their internal policies override the law, insisting that filming their premises is illegal, even when it clearly isn't. Security guards, managers, and employees routinely misuse terms like GDPR, privacy laws, and company policy, despite having no legal authority to enforce them against members of the public. This behavior stems from control, not legality. Rather than accepting that public photography is lawful, businesses often escalate the situation, threaten police involvement, and waste law enforcement resources, sometimes even to hide activities they don't want exposed. By calling this out, the auditor highlights a widespread problem: private entities falsely presenting themselves as having more power than they actually do, relying on intimidation instead of respecting public rights.
Could have. See, what you're saying is a bit silly. I understand what you're saying. People kind of have this thing, they do own some of it.
Can your drone fly 20,000
I think
things?
obviously if they don't want you flying over, like next to their businesses where there's information shown and things like that, I think they're polite, so politely have to stop. Obviously I appreciate you've said it's escalated. If they'd like to stop, then just want to keep things,
But what about my thing? So what about me? I've come here to make videos and I want to make the video, so what about my thing?
well,
What about respect for me?
Just please not get any kind of private information involved in that.
Well, that's not on me though, that's on them. You can't, if they've left private information out.
If you do publish these videos online,
Yep.
can you make sure that the information is unreadable?
I'll do my best if I think it's confidential, but you can't see anything. I'm 30, 40, 50 metres up. I can't even make faces out, you know what I mean? And everybody goes mad about it. It's ridiculous.
What makes this even worse is that the auditor has to tell the officer to walk away, something that should never need to be said. A police officer has no reason to remain at a scene where no crime is taking place. Lingering purely out of annoyance or discomfort is unprofessional. Instead of disengaging as the law and common sense require, this officer chooses to stay, making it clear the real issue isn't legality, it's the auditor himself. This is a textbook example of poor policing. Personal frustration is not a valid reason to remain involved. Yet here, the officer acts as if their irritation justifies continued interference. It's another reminder of the growing problem. Police policing feelings, not the law.
What's your name, sir?
I don't get that information out, I'm sorry. Do I need to? Think carefully what you're going to say next. I know there's one answer to this and it begins with N.
Sorry, the answer begins with
N.
N for...
No. When I said, do I need to?
Well...
No, there's not a well, there's no buts to it. It's either a yes or a no.
It's open to interpretation. It depends, because if I feel that you've been involved in ASP, then yes you do.
ASP?
The Police Reform Act.
What's ASP?
Social behaviour.
Antisocial behaviour?
Yes.
Just as the officer struggles to keep their weak argument alive, perfect timing delivers the ultimate counterpoint. A plane flies overhead. The auditor instantly seizes the moment, pointing to the sky and asking, do they have to ask permission to fly over someone's property? The question demolishes the officer's logic in seconds. The answer is obvious. Airspace is not owned by private businesses. Just as aircraft don't need landowner permission to fly overhead, drones operating within legal height limits and airspace regulations are under no obligation to seek it either. The officer is left without a comeback because there isn't one. This moment perfectly exposes the absurdity of both the business and the police trying to dictate where someone can legally fly. The auditor's sharp thinking shows just how flimsy and uninformed their stance really was, and how little basis there ever was for the challenge in the first place.
I think you'll be on a lawsuit against you if you arrested me for antisocial behaviour, for a man with a camera, then I think you'll be into a...
Suggesting that having a...
I will take you to court. I will take you to court for
I'm
that.
suggesting, however, that you've been involved in an altercation, either one side or the other, and if I decide that that constitutes antisocial behaviour, then I can require you to provide me with your name and address details.
You can, if you think I've committed a crime. But do you think I've committed a
If you've been
crime?
involved in ASB.
No, if you think I've committed a crime, you can ask
If you've been
me.
involved in ASB, that's how it works.
If you think I've committed a crime, if you think, that's right, you're thinking I've been involved in the ASB, which is a crime, isn't it? So if you think I've committed a crime...
ASB isn't necessarily a crime, but one of the police powers that we have is to request the information from somebody who's been involved in ASB.
Right.
So you've been involved in an argument because you've refused to comply with somebody else's wishes.
Feelings, please. Again, we're back to the feelings, please.
If a company truly has private or confidential material, it should be secured, not left exposed where anyone can see it. Blaming a photographer or drone operator for capturing what's already visible to the public is completely misguided. The auditor drives this home, explaining that his drone is flying at 30, 40, even 50 meters up, far too high to capture fine details like faces or private documents. That reality dismantles yet another weak attempt to claim wrongdoing. Instead of acknowledging their own responsibility to safeguard sensitive information, the business and officers cling to hypotheticals and emotion-based reasoning. The fact remains, the officers have no legal grounds. Their arguments are rooted in feelings, not the law.
It's not feelings, please. There has been a confrontation between you and somebody else,
Right.
okay?
Okay.
That to me is antisocial behaviour.
From his side, correct, yeah.
Okay, so
Go get their name and address and all
We'll be
information.
going over there in a minute.
It's not antisocial behaviour, it's
Would
rubbish.
you like just to provide your details? Obviously, you've said there's been a crime of public order because they've shouted and sworn at you. You don't want to make a complaint. Would you
At
like
this-
to provide your details to go on the crime report?
At this time, no. If I get home and I feel that I do need to, when I watch the video back and I do feel that it was bad enough,
Can I
then
give you the instant number then? Just to
yes, please, absolutely give me the
contact us
instant. Yeah, definitely.
If you'd like to provide your details.
Yep. So I'll write that down. Right, but you won't be getting my name because if I did it anonymously. So if you're thinking that I'm going to do that, so you get my name.
No. It's just obviously if you want to provide your details.
What's the date
Is
today?
there any particular reason you won't provide your details?
Yes, one massive one.
What's that?
I don't want to.
What would it gain by withholding your details?
What would it gain? Now, okay,
Lose you to the
right. So let me just reverse that back. So what it would gain for you if I provide my details, that goes straight.
Spoken to.
It goes, doesn't matter though, does it? It goes straight on your intel. You put this description, my name, all my details on your intel. I don't want to be on your intel.
You're
So,
doing nothing wrong. What's the harm?
no, you can't use that. No, I have.
That's a question. I'm not using it. I'm asking you a question.
Well, yeah. Well, you can't say if you're doing nothing wrong, why don't you give your name? That's just rubbish, isn't it? I don't have to give my name, do I? And I don't want to. It's as simple as
That's
that.
fine, you don't want to, but what would be the harm?
I've just told you, it'll go on your intel. So it'll go against the incident, it'll go on your intel. I don't want to be on your systems, thank you. Exactly what I say about the recording.
When the auditor directly asks, "Do I have to?" the officer delivers a shocking reply. "It depends. If I feel you've been involved in antisocial behavior, then yes, you do." The key phrase here is "if I feel." This is deeply problematic because the law is not based on feelings. It's based on facts and legal grounds. Under the Police Reform Act 2002, Section 50, officers can require a name only if there is actual evidence that someone has engaged in antisocial behavior, not just an officer's personal feelings, hunches, or assumptions. By saying, "if I feel," the officer reveals just how dangerously vague and subjective their approach is. This is not how professional law enforcement operates. Legal powers cannot be triggered by personal emotion. They require objective, lawful justification.
Okay, so if you get into trouble, somebody beats you up for the things that you're doing and you won't stop when they ask you to, you get beaten up and then
Yep.
we come across you. How do we know who you are? Might help us.
Well, I think when you come, I'll give you my name then. What?
We don't know. You don't want to give it.
Well, what if I got beaten up and I'm going to take them to court ready to or get you guys to do something about it? Then I
Anything
wouldn't.
else we can help with?
Not for me, no. I don't. If you want to speak to these guys,
We'll
but
have a chat with them over there, and obviously
Absolutely.
things as well.
yeah, no problem. Okay.
very much indeed
All right.
for your time.
Thank you. Cheers. It's a walk of shame.
This exchange lays bare how some officers misuse antisocial behavior laws to pressure people into compliance. Simply refusing to do what someone wants is not antisocial behavior. It's called exercising your rights. If the officer's logic were correct, any disagreement could be treated as a crime, which is absurd. Antisocial behavior laws exist to address harassment, intimidation, and genuinely disruptive conduct, not to criminalize lawful activities just because they make someone uncomfortable. By twisting the law into something vague and subjective, The officer exposes both poor training and a lack of legal understanding. Instead of safeguarding rights, they're weaponizing unclear definitions to justify an intervention that had no legal basis from the start. This perfectly exposes why officers sometimes ask for personal details even when no crime has been committed. It's not about the situation at hand. It's about gathering intelligence and adding names to police databases without any legitimate reason. It's a common tactic. Make it seem harmless to hand over your information, when in reality, it's about quietly building records on people who've done nothing wrong. If an officer has no legal grounds to demand details, there's absolutely no reason to provide them. The auditor calling this out makes it clear. This isn't about policing crime. It's about policing people. The interaction finally ends, but not because the officer realized he was wrong. It only stopped because a second officer had to step in and shut it down. That alone speaks volumes about how badly this was handled. From start to finish, the officer showed a complete lack of understanding of the law, leaning on feelings over facts and trying every trick possible to pressure the auditor into compliance. False GDPR claims, fishing for personal details, twisting antisocial behavior laws. It was all about control, not rights. There was never any legal reason for the police to be involved. The auditor hadn't broken a single law, yet the officer stretched definitions and invented justifications to keep the encounter going. Instead of respecting the right to film in public, they treated the auditor like a problem that needed to be managed. This was one of the worst displays of policing we've seen. An officer who didn't know the law, wouldn't back down, and escalated a situation that should have ended immediately. The only reason it didn't go further is because someone else intervened. And that's exactly why filming the police is essential. Without that camera, this kind of conduct could go completely unchecked. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps keep this independent coverage going. Also, check out BP's channel linked in the description and show him some support. Thanks for watching.